What's up, wees? Welcome back to Anime Lane. I'm Rebel Notorious. Joining me once again today is Shaun.
Hello.
Melina.
Hello.
And a guest today is Manuel. I guess our guest today is Manuel, who's not been on the podcast for about a year.
I am indeed your guest.
Yeah.
Our guest
Hello.
specifically. You're not allowed to be a guest anywhere else.
No.
Nope.
No, this is the only
You signed the
place
contract.
where you can guest star.
Yeah. Jimmy Kimmel's gonna be so sad.
Yeah. I know you had to turn down Fallon already. I'm sorry. Yeah. We're so prestigious.
Good to have you here.
Yes, well, welcome back. Welcome back to the episode, the short episode where we explain what the fuck's been going on.
Yeah.
Because if anyone's been listening consistently, which we do have some consistent listeners now,
Shout out
hell
to
yeah.
whoever you are.
Yeah, we've sounded like shit for the past 3-4 months.
Has it been that long?
Yeah.
Jesus.
We didn't want to. It was just...
No, it would be
It's
like...
not been our year.
One problem would come up, I would fix it, and then we would record again, and another problem would come up, and I would fix it, and it went in a cycle for a while, and we sort of got to a point where I was like, I think I figured out the root cause on our old like sound mixer, but I put the option to Shaun and Melina to say, you know, I think I figured it out. We can do one more session where we try and fix it, or we can just buy a new sound mixer. And you guys were like, "No, fuck it, buy the new mixer."
Yeah.
It's just better.
Yeah, it's better than to try to troubleshoot that old thing, and it was just not built to last.
It really wasn't. That thing was flimsy as shit. Just our new one is like much bulkier, bigger. It's like more like solid. And like the first time I like picked it up, I was like, nothing rattles inside this one.
Which, you know, it's not
That's
something
a
you should
red
be
flag.
thinking overall.
Nothing's rattling.
But ever since we got the original one, that thing, like if you picked it up, you could sort of go like this, and it'd be like.
You just start shaking it.
Yeah, you would hear like springs and stuff moving around, and I'm like, maybe that's not great.
Maybe we should have seen this coming.
Yeah.
It just had so many faults. I mean,
Yeah.
it was fine for when we had it. Like, think simple things like it didn't have an off button.
No.
Yeah.
As soon as you plugged that thing in, it was on.
It was
and
just
that
on.
was it.
It didn't have an on button, and it didn't have vents or anything.
It had vents, but they were on the bottom.
So practically, there were no vents.
They were on the bottom of a unit that does not have a slope to it. So it's just constantly
like a stand.
Or a
Very
stand.
engineering. I mean, do you want to say the brand? Can you say the brand?
It's a Behringer mixer. Yeah. The original one was a Xenix QX 1202, and this is a 1204. So it's the same line. It's just a model up. I don't believe there's a 1203, so I'm assuming it's the model up, and it's bigger. It has actual faders. I want to add,
At long last.
another thing that mixer was missing. It didn't have faders. It had pots. But, how would you describe that to someone who doesn't know?
Knobs.
Knobs.
Yeah.
Dials.
Dials.
It's a knob, yeah.
Little thingies, little twisty thingies.
So basically, if you've ever seen like a sound mixer, they have like all these dials, doohickeys. And if you're familiar with sound mixers, you know what you're doing with them, and obviously someone who's learned how to do it, like me, Shaun, Manuel.
Thanks.
I wasn't sure, okay?
Judging.
That's fine.
You know what all of these do, and one problem with the previous mixer is that the volume was also a dial, but typically on sound mixers you want a fade that you can slide up and down because you get more sort of like accurate control over the volume. So yeah, that's one other thing. There's actual vents on this one now because it has like an extra
side.
bit at the bottom.
Yeah.
That's on the side.
There's vents on the side. It's angled as well, so I'm not having to like arch my head over it,
Which is nice.
which is nice. Power button.
The
bare fucking minimum.
You know, the standard thing you think should be on everything.
Yeah.
It actually has.
It's also not a European model either.
Oh.
So the last one we bought,
Had to get through border control.
it came from Germany, I think.
I think so, yeah.
So we bought it from Thomann, which is a well-known audio equipment music site. But they sent us a European version, so I had a converter plug also
sent a European
attached
plug.
to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It had like the two prongs, and then they also sent like the unit that you plugged that into, which added an extra layer of like connections to it that I'm like, holy fuck, this thing's just not. Yeah. So now we've got like a proper UK plug, and it also has like a proper like bulky plug in, whereas the last one was like this fiddly little fucking round cable thing. So yeah, it's we're on the new mixer. I hope I've calibrated it correctly. I calibrated it mostly without these guys here, because if people are here, I feel like I'm wasting time, so I panic and I rush. So I set it up kind of before they arrived. I've calibrated it a little bit now that they're here, just so that everyone's levels seem roughly okay. And I looking at it here in Audition, we're back.
We're back.
We're so fucking back. I hope.
Let's fucking go.
I hope. Because even with a compressor, like before we were hitting red, and you know, before we started having these issues, we could hit red and it wouldn't distort because the compressor was there, and that was just Audition going, I'm receiving like the maximum amount of signal I can get. Whereas when we started having the issues, it would come up that when we hit the red, it would start distorting. So I wasn't sure if it was the compressor, but I think it may have been that at some point when we were we're about to record one day, I hit record, and there was like the levels were like fucking maximum. And I think it was I think Windows decided, I'm just going to crank the input of this device up to 100% without telling you. And I never even thought to check the Windows system side, because that's not really where you think the issue's coming from until you've troubleshooted everything that you have to troubleshoot on here, which could be a lot. And so that was the last thing that I thought of, and that was when I was like, hey, do you want to just buy a new mixer instead? But yeah, so that's it. Hopefully we don't sound like shit anymore, because that's starting to get...
Hopefully.
Well, I remember there was a high hiss. That's a very interesting creative choice you do.
I tried
Is it my tinnitus, or it's like
I tried my hardest to get rid of that. That was the USB port on the laptop at the time. I used to use a different one. I don't know how that happened. Fuck knows.
But whenever to find out.
Yeah, but whenever it plugs into that USB port now, that hiss comes back. But if it's plugged in, it is really strange. So yeah, that's I hope it's fixed. I really hope it's fixed. I can't keep going.
You get like a demoralizing hit every time.
Every single time. And last time was like probably the worst. It's the hiss is one thing, because I can sort of do something to kind of make that less noticeable, especially with a music bed there. But when it actually distorts, that's a whole other thing I can't fix. And the Lupin episode specifically, when we were talking about Sweet Lost Night, is very bad at times. I checked the rest of them. I don't think there were any in that batch from like, so if you're listening to this is our July episodes. I don't think there's any other ones that distort, but like I don't comb through like minute or second by second. I just kind of go to where the peaks are and check if they're distorting. And Sweet Lost Night was the only one, I hope.
Meanwhile, there's like 4 other episodes. They're all just off.
There's 3 of them out now, and I think they're okay. They still sort of have a little bit of a whine in there that I think I've managed to cut out, because it was a different one. I think maybe down to the mixer, just maybe overheating. I don't know.
I will say I've listened back to like most of them at this point. I think they're fine, apart from like the issues you've already mentioned.
Yeah, it's when you're the one like recording, editing, and then like putting it up. Eventually, you kind of start to go, am I just hearing like the after effect? Like when you hear something for so long, it kind of gets stuck in your ear type thing. I get a point where I'm like, am I still just hearing that, or is it actually still there? I start second guessing myself, so I sent all the episodes to Shaun this time and was like, how do they sound?
And if I remember right, it was like half are fine, half are not as fine.
Yeah, it is what it is. It shouldn't be that, but it is. So I hope it's fixed. We're not peaking too much now. and I think there's less on our headphones. I feel like I'm hearing less like outside noise. Are you just on your phone?
From you.
Me?
I'm getting I just look at my phone, it's like, mobile, Michael. I'm like,
what the fuck? How did my phone do that?
I was like, okay, I'm probably getting a spam call. I'll check that. I look at it, says Michael. I'm just like,
what?
But you were how are
like legit? I looked at you and like, what are you giggling about?
I thought we were gonna play something. Some
Yeah.
No.
I was honestly expecting like some president gonna assassinate.
Yeah. Honestly, I was about to be like,
Biden pulled out the race. Now Trump is actually dead.
God, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well,
we're not turning this into
we're
a
not doing
politics
that,
episode. We
no,
can't be
no,
that
no,
kind
no,
of
no, no.
podcast.
but yeah, so
Sorry, that was a detour.
yeah, no,
Michael,
that's
why are you calling Shaun during a recording
Yeah,
session?
without meaning.
I
Yeah.
have
It's just
not
like-
been on my phone this whole time. I genuinely have no idea. How
I just
that
had like a
happened.
Scooby-Doo moment of like, but if you're there, and this is there,
You
then
turned
who?
around and were like, I saw by your name and I'm like, huh?
I was like, are you on your phone? Yeah, because you're calling me.
Where were we? Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, it also starts to become at some point embarrassing to put out content of that quality or that sound quality, because from an objective standpoint, I should know what I'm doing. I should be able to produce high quality sounding content. And for the first year and a half, I did. And then that started happening. And it progressively got worse. Mm-hmm. And to me, that was like, this is bad. That's not good, because people, new listeners coming in, people in our lives that we'd say, oh, you know, we record a podcast, you should go listen to it. Mm-hmm. That's the most recent stuff. That's the thing they're going to come in and listen to.
Yeah.
That is fucking embarrassing. That's actually like, to me, it's sort of shameful, and I don't know if I'm overreacting or overthinking about it. But as someone who has a
I
piece
think
of...
you should put out a formal letter of...
yeah. Like put it
I
on,
will do
like,
better.
Blue
I'm
Sky,
striving to do
Twitter,
better.
Instagram.
There are threads on my Twitter of me just having meltdowns over the sound mixer. I said I was going to throw it in the ocean once. Still might do that with the old one. But we need that for backup in case anything happens with this one.
Once
Like I
we
say,
get
can I
a
join you?
new back
Yeah.
one, we can do it as like a special.
Yeah.
How?
How?
It's anime lane on the go.
We got a GoPro.
This isn't lunchtime with Smosh.
But we can make it.
I am not setting up to record in the back of a car. Or in a toilet.
Not in a toilet?
Not in
Oh.
a toilet. I still don't know how they managed to make it not sound like they were in a toilet.
Yeah.
That's impressive. But
Shout
yeah,
out to Lunchtime with Smosh.
I have a qualification that says I know what I'm doing, and then that happens and it feels like I don't know what I'm doing, and I start.
You just like
And
look
like
at your
this.
qualification paper and they're like, I failed you.
It becomes like a vicious cycle of like,
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, but I really hope that's done, because there were whole things I wanted to do, like once we had recorded at Eva, and I kind of wasn't in that like mental space after finding out, we fucked up again, or I fucked up again. But yeah, I feel like I'm doing a lot of the talking, and I don't know how long we actually want this recording to go for.
We can talk about Behringer. You know about the scandals of Behringer?
I have no idea.
Oh.
Go ahead.
No, so I mean, they got better in recent years.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Wow.
so they're German. It's Behringer.
Yeah.
The guy's German. But all of their production is outsourced to China. Like
That
India.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
But apparently they were, I don't know if it changed that much, one of the worst companies to work with.
Oh, really?
They would actually go and delete reviews on Glassdoor.
Right.
You know, where people can leave
yeah.
Like
review
as-
for the companies.
yeah.
And there is a, I don't know what years ago, it's like a 40-minute video about all the things that they do wrong. But recently they started donating to charity, donating to like their equipment to programs for music for children,
Oh, okay.
Aw.
because they got involved in some scandal. I don't remember, but
Yeah.
they are really. First of all, they copy a lot of IPs
Yes. Yeah.
and patents. They use the not the market, but they know how to get around rules, so
Yeah.
to speak, to basically build stuff that are obvious copies of something else. But everyone does, right? But
Everyone
they
does
are
that,
like
yeah.
there are some points you cannot tell which one is Behringer and which one is Rode, so to say. But yeah, the last thing I heard is the guy was like, okay, I'm gonna donate to charity because blah 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 blah.
So that absolves him of all his
Yes,
sins in his
Yeah.
mind, I guess.
Okay, I fucked up, guys. Here's a couple thousand.
Oh,
to-
he once made so there was this audio journalist. I don't even know if that's a thing. Like a
Probably.
equipment, or something. You know, it's like
just journalism.
And this guy, I don't remember if he's German or has a German sounding last name. And the Behringer guy made a, and this guy was critiquing Behringer because of all the shit they do. And the Behringer guy made a pedals called the Cork Sniffer.
Okay.
It's like a guy with a big nose, but
Right.
he didn't try to make it anti-Jew, anti-Semitic.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
just like this guy that has a big nose and he's like, I'm a cork sniffer because I'm a posh guy. I care about my audio.
okay.
And I was like,
Wow.
you're an anti-Semite. I was like, no.
No.
But yeah, that's it wasn't even his fault in that one. But other things like, especially I think in China they had a factory that was filled with asbestos.
Yeah, that wouldn't
Yeah,
surprise
sounds
me.
about
Yeah,
right.
at this point, most
And they went
companies
through
will
a
have
lawsuit.
Yeah.
They had like they were all crammed in a like you do in China, like they were crammed in another room.
Yeah.
You can imagine, yeah.
And
yeah.
they go, I think someone died from exhaustion or a stroke. Yeah, yeah,
Jeez.
yeah.
That's the sort of thing though, is it's like when you're buying kind of anything now, it's hard to sort of like be completely ethical
100%.
about it.
There is no ethical
They're just
consumption
the
under
ones that
capitalism.
they
Yeah.
got caught.
Yeah.
But like Apple,
'Cause it's
Apple
this-
they mine
Apple's
they
probably-
mine
Yeah,
kobolds in
yeah.
Africa
Yeah.
with like children.
A lot of
that are
their-
not paid, so no one cares.
Yeah,
so.
a lot of their like silicon factories, a lot of the assembly lines, they're all in China. A lot of like clothes come from like Thailand, Bangladesh, China. So it's and like these companies, they say, oh, we're doing better, we're working so that sweatshops, aren't a thing, but they're consistently getting caught having sweatshops, and then they're going, oh no, but
But it's-
the factory we
yeah.
actually contracted outsourced it to them,
Yeah.
and we had
Yeah.
no
Didn't
idea
know.
about it.
Yeah.
Of course.
We're
We
just
don't
as
know
shocked
why-
as you are.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't know why our labor costs are like 10p a month.
Yeah,
I don't know
Yeah.
why.
because Walmart's got caught doing that like 3 times in the past like 5 or 6 years.
What Coca-Cola militias? What are you talking about?
Nestle who?
But yeah, I think they just got caught. I mean, they're just.
Yeah.
There's so many examples. There's a series on YouTube about their crime squad.
Yeah. It's kind of hard though, like, to find anything not Behringer unless you're going like super expensive.
True.
And until like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I don't even think like their the affordable range was even that good. Like, it's only sort of like the past few years where stuff's actually kind of improved, where you could buy their like cheap audio interfaces for PC, or you could buy these things and like they actually sound good, they do what they should do. Before, it was like looking at these things when I was researching, starting the podcast and buying all this stuff, it's like you find a lot of reviews where it's like people are like, don't buy Behringer, they're shit. And then it's like you kind of find that there aren't many options outside of Behringer.
They found their market.
Absolutely.
Niche is like the people that don't want us paying crazy because I don't need a Universal Audio or a
No.
Rhodes or whatever.
That's it. It's like I don't need a Scarlett that costs
Exactly.
like £300 for like one XLR to
But that's
PC.
how they like. I'm not gonna say it.
No, say it.
No, how much did you spend for the first one?
The first one was 90.
I think so.
Roundabout.
Yeah.
How much you pay for this one?
That was almost 160.
106. So it's 250 total.
Yeah, that
Wait,
we
See, that's how
spent.
they get.
Yeah.
That's how they get.
Yeah.
You're like.
But
if you buy Universal or whatever,
Yeah.
you're like, well, I know it's gonna last me for a while.
I will say that like
Like that's built in, yeah.
my audio interface that I bought that like 3 or 4 years ago, that's still going pretty well. I have no complaints about that, other than just like
Is it Behringer as well?
it's Behringer
Okay,
as well.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And I only really want to upgrade from that because of like it's just like a simple thing, whereas I want like a Go XLR type.
Yeah.
But I just want to piss around and hit a button and make my voice a robot or whatever.
It's the dream.
Yeah, and something just a little bit more compatible with wireless headphones, which the Go XLR is. This, I can see it lasting much longer. I think it's going to have the durability of the
Yeah.
because
knock
the
on wood.
knock on wood, because the ones that Sight Hill have had, they've had them for like a decade
Oh,
or
yeah.
something like that. Their like big Behringer desks are old, and so I think this feels very similar build quality to those, and I'm fucking praying that
hope so.
it's the same. Otherwise, maybe we do need to scrimp and save and just go for the roads, you know.
Just buy 4 SM700. You know the short.
The 7,
ones
yeah,
that
the
everyone has?
SM7s
Yeah.
notoriously need a lot of gain, so you don't not only need
I
to
mean,
buy.
they're very close as well.
They have to be
Yeah.
very close, but you also need to buy like a cloud lifter to get that
Yes.
extra gain. Unless you buy the 7DB, which is then
You
also
need Phantom Power?
these are phantom powered, yeah.
Okay.
So these are condenser mics. We are gonna get new mics soon, and I think we're gonna go dynamic instead, so that it's just a little less sensitive for outside noise
I know,
and
I've
a
been
little
doing
more. Yeah.
Stuff like that dog didn't get picked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something I probably should have considered when we were starting, but like starting out, it was like we were kind of up against the deadline of college projects, so it was like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
just go with the thing that you kind of know is gonna work.
Yeah.
And I
Because
knew
these are
that
also Behringer.
these are
And
also
they
Behringer.
lasted, you know, they're not.
They-
Yeah.
When,
I
it was
Yeah.
like, what are you buying Behringer? But they lasted,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I mean, these are the one thing that nothing has gone wrong with.
Yeah.
So far.
And the one
Yeah.
that
they
you're,
feel nice and sturdy.
yeah, the
Yeah.
one
Honest.
you're using is like, I consistently use that all the time at home. That's my main mic for whenever we do stuff. So I record all of the like extra little bits that may need to go into episodes, or like the intros for EX cuts, all that sort of stuff gets recorded on that through a Behringer interface. So you know they are.
So that's the mic where post production Rebel lives.
That's
Yeah.
the mic where post production Rebel lives, but the interface doesn't have any EQ, so it sounds different, and that always bugs me. I don't think anyone actually notices or cares.
No.
But to me, it sounds.
It's the audio phantom effect, you know. Like,
Yeah.
I hear it. I hear the mids. They're a bit too nasal.
It's
And people are like, I don't know
literally
what
that
you're
like
talking about.
what it's pulling in is just flat. And I'm trying to like get it as close as possible sounding, even though I'm in a completely different room.
Just bass boost it.
Deep fry it.
Yeah, deep fry it.
Yeah,
Perfect audio quality.
Perfect audio quality, yeah. So we have been recording for 25 minutes. I don't know how much of the start is usable. Just sort of hard cut into this.
Hard cut.
What's happening? Am I having
Words
a
are
you
failing
can't
you.
do this in the first episode.
Yeah,
of the
exactly.
day.
We've not even been here for an hour, man. You can't do this now.
I forgot to go get my monster from the fridge before we started. I'm blaming it on
Monster?
that. No.
No.
There's monster here.
No.
I don't know
Treat.
have we talked about on the podcast how we barred Shaun from drinking Monster?
I'm cut
Think
off.
so.
I've been told to go to my room.
And
over
not
that.
even because we're like, it's unhealthy. Is
No.
it? You won't stop pissing.
There-
As I have a solution that I told
Oh.
you already.
Oh,
Do you want
God,
to talk
which
about
is
this solution?
Piss in a bottle.
No!
And as he's
No!
talking, yeah, you just hear.
I have told him
You
that
have
this would effectively destroy my friendship with both of you immediately.
You just
and they're
don't
Shaun,
even mention
Shaun, what
it.
do you think of this movie?
Give me a second.
Is it?
The thing is, these microphones would pick that up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And like, how
I mean,
would
they have
we?
a mute.
Look, there.
Yeah, we actually have a mute button now. That's
I want to
also
keep this
something.
podcast going. I don't want it to just stop right here.
But I give you as always. I give solutions and I hear problems. That's what happens to her all
Maybe
the
you
time.
also just stop bitching
Sometimes.
and just listen.
Sometimes people don't want to hear solutions to their problems. They just
No,
want to vent
they
their
wanna vent,
problems.
that's
Yeah,
true.
exactly.
Women, am I right?
And women, ugh.
Yeah.
Sips coffee.
Just get like the Kermit meme with the tea.
Yeah, I thought the same. Yeah. And it just says women, and that's it. And then Corbin.
Yeah.
Or like the TF2
That's like-
video where they're just like sipping coffee
Yeah.
aggressively.
Yeah,
This is a great episode.
yes,
But
it
yeah,
is.
I think it's the best one. The best one ever.
Yeah, this also has mute buttons, which we didn't have before, so I've just muted Melina.
Why would you do that?
She's gone. We're free.
Yeah.
Can you actually EQ in real time on it? So like,
Yeah,
so if you bass boost me, can you?
Oh god.
Oh, here we go.
Hello. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's like a.
Well, there's a plane.
Yeah, the plane came in just as you were turning that off.
I thought it was like some strange.
For the split second, I thought it was also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I could like properly fuck your voice up.
It is me. Oh.
There we go.
Peter.
having too much fun with this already.
Yes, of course.
It's not quite the same as like having an effects
Yeah, it's not the
board
same.
here, but like, yeah, I mean, we can EQ in real time. It's the same as like any standard, mixer of this variety. There is also a low cut, which we used to use or I used to use all the time, acting like Shaun and Melina know what I'm talking about.
I can pretend.
Is it on now?
No, I have it turned off. I used to use it all the time on that one, and it did get like a better sound. But here, it doesn't actually seem to have any difference.
Really?
Yeah, which is surprising. Like I'll turn it on all of us, and yeah, there's like basically no difference.
Oh yeah.
It's the same.
It's the exact same. Yeah,
Strange.
it used to cut out like a
Is
little
it just
bit.
on off or it's like a slider?
It's on off.
Oh.
Like it's just a low cut pass, so it's like
Yeah,
a simple.
yeah. Strange.
But I think it may just be that compared to before, I'm being more conservative with everything. There's less gain, there's less volume. The input is a little higher on this side just to compensate, but like I'm a little more conservative than before, so gain isn't up as high. So I think that's maybe why the low cut pass isn't having as much of an effect, because there's less to be cut out. But yeah, turning it off, there's
the
like
same.
no difference.
Yeah, I don't hear a difference.
See, like an illusion, I thought there was more background noise before.
That's what I
It's
thought.
the same.
It's the exact same.
same.
I did that as well. It wasn't until I listened to it back and I was like, there is no difference. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe if we had the gain up higher, there would be a difference.
Could
but,
be.
Yeah,
Or because the EQ is flat.
maybe.
But still, they were still.
I still have I have the highs turned down just to take out the little bit of wetness in everyone's voice. That's what it's called. It's
I know, but does it have to be?
if you go into any editing software, if you come into Audition, it's
Please
literally
don't do
called
that.
the difference between dry and wet.
Would you like to demoist?
Here's the
I would like to moisten.
Can we moisten it up just a little?
I do not understand though why Adobe has wet and dry as the volume slider or the intensity slider for like sound effects though. Like if you're using their effects rack, the wet and dryness controls how like much effect that effect has, and I never understood that.
Well, let's try and wet. That's
Yeah, but at the same time, they could have just went with like not having it be called dry and wet.
I would like to hydrate the audio.
Because I saw that and went, oh, that's the slider that's going to let me take out that little bit of...
Nom, 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 nom. Yeah.
And then I did it and I was like, why are my effects gone? This is when I was learning how to use everything, so... but yeah, I think we've probably been recording enough to get like a short-ish episode.
Yeah, it was just mostly to get, a little practice sesh, kind of talk
Yeah,
about what's
yeah.
happened.
Yes.
And to apologise.
To apologise.
Yeah, this is our formal.
And there's an
Yeah.
extra week in August.
Don't say it like
Say
that.
And we didn't
that.
want to put in the effort of recording that.
Oh!
Cut off!
No!
go on
Mute.
Go on ChatGPT and say
Oh, no!
No,
we're not
no,
doing
no,
that.
no.
I have a
No.
podcast and the audio's been bad. Help me write a letter of apology and read it live.
But then don't crop it, like post it, but don't crop it, so you just see that you
Don't
asked.
spell check it. Don't
No.
grammar check it.
Just take it straight
Just
from
take
the
it
source.
straight from the source.
Right from the tap.
So yeah, thank you guys for listening.
We're sorry.
I think at this point the
For everything.
the donation link should be up. As of yet, I haven't put them anywhere. The Ava episode's about to come out, and I haven't. I just keep forgetting to add them everywhere. So hopefully by the time this is out, I have done that. It is a simple case of copying and pasting them everywhere.
Let's see if post-production Rebel does that.
Let's see.
Testing him here.
So if you wanna drop us some cash because you like what we do, then you can do that. It'll go towards buying either new equipment or stuff to watch.
If you can.
If you can. If you're not in the financial position, if you're a student, if you've got stuff to pay for, don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just don't.
We don't need it. It's just
And how do you donate?
it's buy me a coffee. It'll be
Buy Me a
somewhere
Coffee.
in the
Yeah, yeah.
description. It'll be on our Twitter. It'll be on our Blue Sky. It'll be on all of our social medias. So yeah, I may open up the subscription option and like there's loads of little extra audio stuff that we've done over the time we've been recording where we just chat and then go, oh, we should actually get into the episode.
Yeah.
So there's stuff that we can throw up. We might make stuff available early. I don't know. I'm a little hesitant on doing the subscription thing right now.
Yeah, which is fair.
So thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe.
Please smash that.
Ring that motherfucking bell.
See, that's how you need when you need sound effects.
Exactly. You need the soundboard for the air horns.
Yeah.
No, I think it's funnier if we just get a selection of props. To make
Just have some
Get
pipe.
an actual air horn. I'm okay with that.
Just have an actual pipe and just.
We have a whole house to ourselves now. We can
Yeah.
we don't need to worry.
Okay, we'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.